Alright, here we go. We're gonna... sorry guys, I am a little late today. Oh, I drank all of my drink. Okay, refresh this. There we go. But we are working on a different game today, not the normal stuff. I guess let me move this. I guess right here is fine. Okay, so we're working on some different stuff today. Today we're working on a game called Aeration Tycoon. It is a little different. We're gonna go ahead and delete these. We're gonna make this ground a little bit bigger. We don't have a ton of time to work, so we're gonna try to get as much done as we can. Right, yo. Scene view. Okay. I'm gonna copy this. Put some water underneath it. Take the ground, put it up one. Take this, call it water. Water. Color it like this. Like that. Okay. The player. This player needs to be brought up above. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this stuff because what's gonna end up happening is I will. Okay, we're gonna call this red for the player for now. We're gonna bring the ground down a little bit. Okay, I have these basins. Each one of these needs to come up to 4. All of these blowers need to come up to 4. Because I'm pretty sure the player's on 3. Actually, we're gonna bring this out to the outside. Delete this. Call this player. Okay, 2. So this is 0, 1, 2. We can call these 3. These are not going to move anywhere. These can be called 3. Okay. These blowers can get bigger. Bring them back here. Okay. We can just kind of place them randomly. We don't have to like do anything crazy. They're out of order. Okay. It does not have to be perfect. We will make it perfect later. The first thing that we need to do is get it so that the player can move around. Okay. Before I was trying to make it so that the player could like navigate around, but this time I'm gonna make it more simple. I don't think I was streaming before. 2D top-down game. I want to click on the screen and the player will move to where I clicked. Built-in nav mesh. To achieve this functionality in Unity, you'll need a combination of scripting and Unity's built-in featured nav mesh or manual pathfinding logic. Here's a simple approach. Set up your project, that's fine. I can't use nav mesh. I'm pretty sure I can't use nav mesh too. Can't use nav mesh here, man. We can try. Okay, install nav mesh component from the GitHub via Unity's package manager. Let's try it then. Package manager, Unity registry, nav, AI navigation. Let's look up nav mesh. How to download nav mesh. Unity Technologies nav mesh components. Ouch. According to the instructions of GitHub repository for the nav mesh components, clone or download the repository and open the project in Unity. However, Unity does not recognize any of the folders. If you're trying to use the existing project after downloading the repository from GitHub, You need to copy the components assets nav mesh folder into the existing project. Make a backup of your project before installing components. Fine. So I guess I need to come here, go into assets, and download the nav mesh components. This right here. Okay. Let's get this then. Project. We can remove this. I don't need this. Close that. We'll close this. We're working with just a normal project. I should just be able to download this, no? How do I download this? Using this repository, here we introduce 4 components for the navigation system: nav mesh surface, modifier, modifier volume, nav mesh links, how to get started, download and install Unity 5 or 6. Clone or download this repository and open the Unity project. Alternatively, you can copy the contents of assets, nav mesh components to existing projects. How do I download it? Oh, sorry. This is the stuff. Oh, download zip. There we go. So I'll just open the zip folder. I'm going to take this and put it into... I don't remember doing this for Cult of the Crow, because I used nav mesh before in Cult of the Crow. Alright, so we're going to go to Unity, Assets, we're going to go to Packs, drop nav mesh here. I'm going to actually pull it back here. Extract all. Oh, my nose! Nav mesh assets, nav mesh components, copy this. I'm going to drop it into here. Actually. So we're going to go to Show and Explore. I'm going to go to paste that here. And it'll show up. Okay, and then add nav mesh surface component to the game object where it comes in your game world, i.e. the floor. What does this say? Okay, that's fine. So grab the floor, add component, nav mesh surface, and then I'll grab the player. Nav mesh. Okay, so set the agent type to default and adjust the bounds so the covers the playable area. So the ground, it is set the agent type to default. Open agent settings. Unable to open agent settings because the navigation window is not available. Please install the AI navigation. Oh, okay, Windows, Package Manager, AI navigation, install. It says Package Unity, AI navigation conflicts with unable to open agent because the navigation window is not available. Okay. Delete this. So remove the package. And then install it again. There we go. Nice, okay. So now, let's see, what is this? What is this thing? So the ground, a nav mesh surface, open agent settings. We'll set this to, okay, so nav mesh, and adjust the bound so it covers your playable area. Set the agent type. Bake the nav mesh by clicking bake and nav mesh surface component. So I think I need to take these and make them obstacles. Add component. Nav mesh obstacles. Okay, and then the player is a nav mesh agent. Human. Okay. Okay. Okay, create the movement script. Okay, so now I grab the player, so he's an agent now. I'm gonna add a movement script. Create an ad. Open this up. Reload this. Close that. Okay, let's look at this. Call it movement. Okay. So agent dot get component map as agent equals update rotation. Make sure that the nav mesh is compatible with 2D. No vertical movement. Input get mouse down 0. Move position main camera screen to world. Mouse position equals camera main screen to world. Input mouse position. Okay, and then tracker transition equals mouse X, Y, transform position. Okay, let's try this. Failed to create agent because there's no nav mesh. Oh, I didn't bake the nav mesh. Okay, so the ground, I need to bake. I don't know. Let's try again. Add nav mesh components to the player. Adjust the speed, acceleration. Disable the nav mesh 3D settings like vertical. Attach the player controller script to the game object. Test your game. Did not work. Okay. Let's create agent because it's not close enough to nav mesh. Add component. I'm gonna add a rigid body or a collider. Player. Collider. No. Move component. Add 2D. Collider 2D. Try again. Okay, let's see. Let's go to ask for help on YouTube. Okay, let's see. Use nav mesh on 2D game. Unity. Navigation 2D uses Unity's built-in navigation system. Navigation 2D is on the asset store for almost 2 years now. Okay. Alright. Let's go to the store then. Asset store. Search online. Navigation 2D. 2D. Here it is. $30. Okay. Then we'll just make this work. You know how we make this work? We make it a 3D game. So these are sprites. So the way we make this a 2D game is like this. Okay, so now what we do instead is we make this a very small 2D game or a very small 3D game. Where's the camera? There it is. Is Z? This is Z. Okay, good. All right. So instead, we change this to a square. Create a 3D object cube. Take off the gizmos. Rename to player square. 3D. Okay, and then we're gonna change his material. We're gonna call it player material create. Material player. Drop this here. Properties. Smoothness. Albedo. We'll make him red. And then I don't care about his the lighting. There we go. Now we'll make the ground as well a square. 3D object. Cube. We're gonna make a 3D material. Create material ground and drop it on there. Make it emit. Make it emit the green color. Okay, and then we turn this off. And then we shrink the Z. I really don't care about this part. Okay, ouch. Okay, so let's put a 2D collider on this thing and a rigid body. Rigid body, and then press play. Let's see what it does. I think it's gonna go down. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so that means what we need to do is zero? No. 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 Okay. Okay, so all right. That means I need to make a 3D environment, but I need to make it look 2D. That's fine. But I can do nav mesh, so that's fine. That helps a little bit. So, if that's the case, then I need to take this. One and three. Okay, so that means I need to kind of start over. That's fine. Delete this stuff. Delete this stuff. I'll need basins and blowers. I'll need my player 3D. Delete that. I need water. I need the environment. I need this here. Delete these. That's fine. Put this here. Let's put the main camera into the player's location. Put this into the player's position. And then I'm gonna aim it down. It's 90 degrees. And then I'm gonna bring it up by 10. Main camera, so then we take it off of the player 3D. How about this? We set this stuff to 0 actually. 0, 0, environment, 0, cube, 0, 0. Scale. So that's the thing, the camera, drop this to 0 as well. Let's see where all this stuff is going. Okay, so I'm gonna move this up 20. It seems like this is getting everything. Perfect. Okay, so then this guy right here can scale down. I need to still see the camera though. That's fine. Okay, so I need to bring this, not the camera down, but this is the ground. Rename this to ground. I would like to continue to see. Close this. Okay, there we go. All right, let's make a basin. Okay, let's go ahead and add a light to this. Point light. Let's go ahead and add a light, a spotlight. Nope. Area light, directional light. Okay, so the ground, let's go check this off. Then make this green. Okay, make that green. We're gonna copy this ground. Rename this as water. Bring it down slightly. Bring it out to here. And then we're gonna make it watercolored. Rename this to water. Put it here. Should put it there. And make it blue. Okay, and then go to the game scene. It's good. And then we're gonna take the player. We're gonna make this box collider, add a nav mesh agent, nav mesh surface. And then we're gonna take the player 3D, bring him up. Make sure he has a rigid body, add a nav mesh agent. Collider. I'm gonna bake this. This is not an agent. I don't, well, let's just try it. Okay. Okay. I changed the game to a 3D game, but with a top-down perspective to mimic the 2D look. Please rewrite the movement script. Let's look at the main camera. I gotta make this. Target texture, rendering depth. Okay. it casts a ray this time. That makes sense. So we'll use a ray to where the mouse hits. Okay, so then we'll go back here, update this. Okay, movement. Click on the player 3D. I've got to add movement. Beautiful. Alright, and then I gotta take this, I gotta add a nav mesh obstacle. And then I've gotta rebake this thing. Environment, ground, rebake. Okay. Now I've got to make some obstacles, so basins and blowers. So a basin is going to be a cube, so a 3D object, cube. We're going to bring this up. It's got a box collider already. So then I'm going to have 3 basins. Okay, copy, paste. Okay, take the player, move him back a little bit. Make these obstacles. Nav mesh obstacles. I've got to make a little building. I've got to make 3D object, cube, office. Rename to office. Okay, so I'm going to bring this here, bring it up slightly. I've gotta give it a material. Nav mesh obstacles. Cube 2 already has the same component. Okay. We'll just call this rename basin 03. Rename basin 02. We'll name this one. Rename this to basin 01. There you go. Alright, now I gotta make my blowers. My blowers are gonna be the same kind of thing. Alright. Basins. Blowers. So they're gonna rotate these on the Z axis, I think. Nope. On the Y then. Yeah, go 90 degrees here. Okay, so I've got an office space here. Got blowers here. Let's do a basin color. So material, create material, basin, and I'll copy that and make a blower. Just make this blue. Put that on here, 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 and here, and I'll get the basin. I'll make that this color. 1, 2, 3. These have obstacles, right? Okay, cool. And then I just take this and rebake this. Shouldn't be able to move into these things. Okay. Ooh. Acting weird. Okay. Um, there's a way to change some of this stuff. All right. Let's try on those gizmos. I should be getting some sort of nav mesh. Is it because I'm not on the player? There we go. So he's gonna try to go there. Okay. So he's going around. See, he's struggling right here. Not sure why he's struggling. He can't work with that. That's for sure. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Speed. His speed is too fast. 2. Obstacle avoidance 0.5. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. 0.7. Obstacle avoidance, high quality, priority. Auto traverse off mesh link. Area mask. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, it doesn't feel like these are working quite right. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Much better. Can he not get on this? Nope. Obviously not. Okay, fuck. That's not good. I should be able to step up. Let me get my player and give him a component. Give him a capsule collider. Capsule collider. Still not working. He should be able to climb up stuff. Pathfinding. Obstacle avoidance. Height. High quality. Priority. Auto braking. Stop distance. Acceleration. Angular speed. Trying to remember how I get objects like this to work. Oh, how do I change that? Damn. I need to change this carve. Time to stationary. I don't know what that means. 2, 1. And then bake it again. Okay. So, I mean, I know that I'm gonna use sprites to texture everything. Alright, so in that case, let's make an office wall then. Let's take the camera and zoom it out. That doesn't really do anything. Okay, then I have to just fit everything in the scene. What is that? What did I just grab? Oh, this is a surface, ain't it? Remove this. Okay, so this right here is an office wall. So their width is 2.5, so it's 2.8. So let's do 2.5 by 2.5 by 0.3 for thickness. And then I'll do this one, 0.3 here, 1, and then 4.2, 4.2. And then I will raise it up, make it thicker. Copy this, bring it here, shrink it a little bit. Copy it again, shrink it one more time, bring it here. Okay, shrink this a little bit more. Okay, copy. Pop, 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 pop. Now mesh obstacle and carve. Maybe make this a little bit thinner. Okay. Let's take all of this and parent it into an empty parent. So I can move it over to the left a little bit. Okay. There we go. Got a office. Grab this stuff. Move it up a little bit. And then also we're going to create a wall in the back. Let's go ahead and grab this. No. I'll grab this. Move it backwards. Make it thinner. Make it taller. Press it up against the back of this thing. Then take this and then rebake this. Clear and bake. Is this an obstacle, right? Right, okay, so I need this to carve. And then I need to see this camera. Okay, cool. So let's play. Select the player. He's in here. Okay. I've got basins. I've got blowers. Okay. All right, great. Pair, we'll call this walls. Can't rename them in mass. Okay, great. File, build settings. Target is Windows. Oh, shoot. How did he do this? Okay, hang on. How to build a game, Unity game for web browser. Open Unity, install tabs, add modules, WebGL, build support, and click install. Configure the build, switch platforms, set up player settings, resolution presentation, set the default resolution, or choose to let the browser handle the resizing. Enter full screen mode is set to full screen window or responsive. Okay, so let's get the WebGL support install. All right, we've got to give it some time to do that. So let's go ahead and close this. Close this. Let's work on some of this stuff. Okay, so I have to set up the system here. Okay, so the system, it's a series of valves, fans, outputs, repairs. Let's start with the blowers, I guess. Basin, valves, fans, output, repairs. Okay, so we're gonna add this, a blower script. Create an ad. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and organize this a little bit more. Folder. We're gonna say material. Boop, 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 boop. Drop those in there. Blower. We're gonna open this up. It's fine. What happened? We're fine. Okay, so the blower is gonna have a couple things. Public output, or public flow output, public float cost, public float power consumption, private float health, and then private float fan, okay, fan strength, fan strength, fucking strength, fan strength. Okay, there you go. All right. Alrighty. Let me just jump back here. Yep, fine. Let me look here. 48 minutes, okay. So I'll change this to awake. So output. Okay, so let's go ahead and ask. I know that output power consumption output is equal to okay, so this is the blower. Wait, what was that? Hang on. Install complete. Okay, great. Let's come back here. I just want to make sure it works in the browser. Okay. What are you importing? Oh, it's still importing. Okay, so take your time to import. I'm gonna have to make like an overall game system. Okay. I need a reset, right? Okay, let's save everything and then do a reset. We can close this. I said we could close this. Alrighty. Gonna work for a bit longer on this one. This one's gonna take me a bit to get together. Let me go jump to YouTube. Maybe build and run. Let's see what happens. Projects, Unity, builds. We're gonna make a new folder called Aeration Tycoon. Aeration Tycoon. Select folder. Let's just turn this down. It's gonna take a second for the first build to go. It's a 3D game. That's the thing I'm worried about, is that it's a 3D game. And it's using a 3D game using nav mesh, you know? I don't know if that's gonna work. It's going. What has happened? Where'd my scene go? Come on. Come on, you can do it. It's taking a while. I guess I could try to work on the blower. So I know that the output is going to be based on... Yeah, it's going to take a while. Output times the fan strength multiplier is going to give us, like, basically the actual output. This is, like, the maximum output. So I need to, like... The idea is, like, providing aeration. Is that how you spell that? I don't think that's how you spell that. Aeration. Okay. It worked. It's working. It's not beautiful. But it is working. Follow me. Okay, so the game is working. Now the question is really, it comes down more to, ooh, ouch. Alright. Alright. So I don't know if the 3D nav mesh to WebGL is gonna cool it. The smaller resolutions are okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna have to do some research to see what I can do to kind of fix that. Providing aeration to the system. Let's go ahead and do an aeration system in the environment. Let's just put it in the environment, I guess. So here's all my basins. I'll have to do these as well. So let's add a component for a basin. Basin. Create and add. Alright, so the basins are gonna be, they're gonna have a couple things. So open this up. The basin is gonna have dew levels. That's pretty much all I can remember. Private float dew level. What? Okay. This sucks. Is it working? So the stream is frozen? No, it's working. Yeah, it's working. What the hell? Yeah, it says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will... Okay, I'll have to fix that. Nothing I can really do about it now. This will literally have dew levels. Right. It'll be based on the incoming aeration. But I have to make a system. So we'll do a game manager. So we'll open up a empty and call it game manager or system manager. Okay, so system manager. Add components. We'll call it aeration manager. Okay. I need to make valves as well. So that'll help. So system manager, the basins, I need to add some valves. So we're gonna add a 3D object. We're gonna add a cube. Rename this to valve. Valve. Huh. How is this? That is not all one. What the hell? Okay, I'll stick it here. This goes to valve or basin 2. This goes to basin 3. So the valve is going to determine the inputs into the basin. Okay. So the system, I'm going to edit this one, Aeration Manager, edit script. This is going to have public basin array. Oh, no, blower array. Blowers. And then it's going to have a public I guess valves? Public. So we're gonna call these valves. Edit. Add component, valve. Create a new script. A public valve array. Valves. What did I name it? VALVE. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so edit this script. Okay, so with my... Did I just... Oh, I pinned it. Okay, so pin my basin. So my blower has an output in power consumption. My aeration manager has blowers and valves. And then my valves... So my aeration manager, my valves will have an input and an output. An input, so a private float input and a private float output, and then a public float. Okay, what is the what is a technical term for how open a valve is? Dude, just literally just give me the answer. Okay, fuck it. Google. Copy. Paste. Valve lift. The term for how open a valve is called valve lift or valve opening. It essentially refers to the distance the valve stem moves. Opening. Valve opening. 100% open. Okay. We'll call it valve opening. Okay. All right. Input, output, valve opening. Okay, and then the basin will also have a public valve. Public valve. Called valve. The aeration system has a series of valves. Valve. I spelled it right. Why are you having so many problems? Let me make sure this is VALVE. I spelled it right. This should recognize aeration has a series of valves. Input, output. Basin has a public valve and dew levels. And then the aeration manager, I could call this piping actually. And then I have the, maybe actually I just make a score manager. score manager. And I'm going to make a component for this called, let's take these both and put them on 0, 0. We'll call this score manager. We'll call this new script score manager. Oh my gosh, okay. Ow, my leg. Okay. Is this really still struggling? I guess not. Okay, so with the score manager, crap. Let's open up that score manager. Score manager, edit script. It's gonna be a series of basins. Public basin array basins. Please tell me my basins. So the score manager is the last thing. Movement is all the way over here. It's a blower to my aeration manager, to my valve, to my basin, to my score manager. And then there's going to be a private score. Okay. This is it. So then it's gonna be my blower, score manager, aeration manager. I need a power manager. Power and money. Right, okay. So how do you make money in the game again? I forget. Blowers have cost and then repairs. That's why I have the health. Basins have dew levels and valve controls. Money is a resource. Kilowatts is a resource if you beat boss auto rebalance dew levels. It's an advert game. Dew levels between 2 and 3. Control blowers to control dew levels. 0 to 0 dew level slime monsters. Does that say 7.5? Foam monsters. Point and click to move. Boss battles. Random S and 8S slime monsters. How do you earn money? Okay. So output, costs, power consumption, health, fan strength. So my output is going to be how much it aerates by. I need to come up with like what it's gonna cost here. Let me jump in. Let's do this really quick. So I'm gonna just ask chat really quick. How to do arithmetic on a set timer in Unity. In Unity? How to do arithmetic on a set timer in Unity. I just want to see, it's time. I don't know if it's time delta time. How to raise a number by 1 every second in Unity. That's literally it. That's all I want. I don't want to do coroutines or anything. You can either use coroutines or update with a timer. Start enumerator. This is fine. Use the update. Time equals timer plus time time, like accumulated time. If time is, check if 1 second has passed. number, increment the number, debug, number. Okay, this is fine. I'll do this. If the timer is greater than 1 second has passed, 1 second has passed, increment the number, debug, number, blank. Okay, so also I need like power status on here. It'll be private, public float, float power status equals true. Okay, so let's do this. The aeration manager, we'll do a private float total aeration, and then I'll provide the total aeration divided by 3 to each of the valves on each tick, like a percentage of it. Okay. I'm not really sure how this works, but I'll come up with something. Don't need that. Okay, so, but I do know that the blowers will provide a consistent output at a certain amount of time. So on the update, we'll do this. So on the update, it's gonna be this code, providing aeration to the system on a timer, accumulated time if 1 second has passed. We're going to provide to the aeration system. So do we need a reference to the aeration system from here? Yes, and then we need to provide aeration. So we're gonna come in here. We're going to make a public void. We're gonna call it aerate. Is that how you'd spell this? Man. Aeration and aerate. I think so. Lawn aeration. When and how to aerate. Aerate. We're gonna do a float amount. It's just gonna be total aeration plus the amount. And then I come back to the blower and I'm gonna reference the aeration manager. Fuck, man, come on. Private aeration manager. And then manager is gonna be equal to equals game object dot find game object find game object of type game object by tag. This is what I want to. This is what I'd rather do. Find with tag. Because I will name this system manager. I'll name this aeration manager. Aeration manager. Aeration manager, just like that. Okay, then back to the blower. Each blower on a wake will find game object of find with tag. Game object find with tag. Is that how you do this, man? I feel like this is dumb. Find game object with tag, Aeration Manager. I feel like that's not the way I usually do it. Key component, Aeration Manager. There you go. Now, on a timer, it's gonna be it's going to be manager dot aerate, and it's gonna be the output times the fan strength times 0.01f, since this will be 100%. 100%. The output will be, let's do 10 kilowatts. Cost equals 20. Let's do $50. 50F dollars. Power consumption in kilowatts. Health equals 100F. HP. Is this is Zelda? Yeah, it is. Man, this can't be good. Okay, so my aeration manage. No. So my blower outputs 10F, costs 50, power consumption, power status, health, fan strength, and it aerates. Okay. Now on aerate, I want to debug log the total aeration, please. There you go. And then we can play this. Blower health is assigned never used. Implicitly bolt afloat. Oh shit, power status is bool. Sorry about that. Bool. Let's see what else. Timer does not exist in the current context. Timer is a okay. Save that. Timer. That should fix it, man. Private, I put an A. Save. Clear all this stuff. Zero. Alright. Stay 0. It's jumping up by 1 every second. Alright, my blowers are not blowing then. So here's my blower. Oh, I haven't put it on. I put one blower. Okay. Alright, that's another thing. If timer is less than 1, and then here, if power status is on, like this. Alright, so power strength is power is on. Air rate. It's 10, 50, and 100. 10, 50, and 100. That's what I need to do. Output is 10. Cost is 50. Power consumption is, I don't know. Power consumption is not marked. We'll just do 5 kilowatts. This is actually in pressure, so PSI. 10 PSI. Cost is 50. This is actually F. Power status is true. I'm gonna take my cost and put it above this. Output, power consumption, power status, health, and fan strength. I'm gonna make fan strength public actually. I don't know why that was private. I'm gonna put it right here. Public power fan strength, private health, private timer, and aeration manager. And that should be working. Kilowatts. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do one thing. I need to set the range. How to set a range on a float. How to set a range on a public variable float. Okay, there it is. So this one, range. My brother's calling me. Hang on, I gotta mute. Okay, sorry about that. Range from 0F to 100F. I think that'll fix that. What is this? Oh. Don't know why that was there. Back here, make sure this is saved. Come on, reload. There we go. Cost, output, power consumption, power status, that stuff. Okay. Now we should be getting the updates. Every second we should be seeing Aeration Tycoon. Yep, it's a project that I'm working on. There it is. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. Now what I need to do is do the same thing for the aeration manager. So I don't need the blowers actually. All I need to do is aerate the system. And then on the update I need to, yes, another one. On the update I need to basically do the same thing. So okay, so public total air. I have the total aeration. I need another private timer. Private float timer. Okay, so every second, I need to determine what to give the valves as an input, and then I need to give the valves the input. I'm gonna go ahead and take this and do the same thing. It's gonna be range 0F to 100F for valve opening. And then every second the valve takes an input. Pressurize, I'm gonna say inflow. I'm gonna do a public void inflow, and it's gonna be a float input, and then it's gonna be output is equal to input on the inflow. So whenever inflow is called, and then on the update, output is equal to input, so I don't need this. On this, I need to put another timer to the basin. So here, valve, provide aeration to the system. It's going to be another timer, so private float timer. Okay, and then it's going to be okay. Okay, so the blower on a timer outputs based on the fan strength and the maximum output. The aeration manager takes in and contains a total aeration, which will divide it by each of the valves. So I have a series of valves that I have. Each one of these valves is going to have an inflow. So what I do is, if timer is less than blah blah blah, for each, it's gonna be valve. For each valve V in valves. Crap. For each valve in valves, you're going to v.inflow the flow rate. I'm going to say flow rate, so I'm going to do here int flow rate is equal to my total aeration divided by 3. And then inflow to air rate, flow rate, flow. Oh, I put float rate. It's flow rate. And then I'm gonna take the total aeration and reduce it by a certain amount. Total aeration minus equals so I actually think this is gonna be backwards. So I think the basin needs an air consumption rate, public consumption rate, public Float consumption, air consumption rate, consumption rate. We'll set it to set it to 5F. So it's gonna consume air. The valve is gonna have to is gonna provide the air, but the aeration manager, well, it doesn't know what the consumption rate is, so it'll divide the air pressure up, divided by 3. But it won't empty out every second. So the total aeration will go back to 0. Let's just set it back to 0. I do need the valves. I do need the timer. I don't need the start though. And then the valves, output is equal to input. And then the basin is going to get aerated. This is going to be public float air consumption rate, and it's also going to be a air consumption rate. I'm going to have a private do level, private float aeration. I'm going to set this to equal to 0F. The do level I'm going to set is equal to 2.5F. My public flow air consumption rate, and then also we're going to say bacterial level. Bacteria level equal to 1F. Okay. So this is where all of our stuff is going to be kind of determined. So I'm going to get my timer again. So here's my timer. Basin, timer, private timer, float timer. Okay, so on each tick, this is what's going to happen. The do level is equal to, I'm going to say, bacteria level goes up over time. So like it's going to be the difference between my aeration and my bacterial level is going to affect the do level either up or down. Air consumption rate. The more aeration or the more bacteria. Yeah, it's going to be different. The difference between these two things. The air consumption rate I don't really care about. It's just how much air is being provided and how much bacteria there is. And then I'll just use that as the difference to determine the do level. Oh, the air consumption rate is important because it'll determine how much air is eaten up at a time. I have to think. It's gonna be, so my valve, I need the basin air, I need to aerate the basin. So is it a, the valve has the public reference to the, I think it's actually gonna be that way. The valve will have a public reference to the basin. And then, so the aeration manager had a reference to the valves, and the valve has a reference to the manager. So it's a public basin, just like that. And then on the timer, it's basin dot aerate, and it's gonna be the output times the valve opening again times 0.01 f, because the percentage. Okay, so that's valve. Basin comes here. I need to put the aerate. So a public void aerate with a float inflow. We'll come here, and then we'll do aeration is equal to inflow. It's actually not. It's going to be a plus equals inflow. And then every time we do this, the dew level will be adding the difference between the bacterial level and the, okay, so let's do that private bacterial level. Copy that. Private aeration. Okay. And then the public float rate of well, what would you say? It's the rate of how dirty something becomes. Rate of contamination equals 0.5 f. And then, so this is all gonna have to be like tweaked, obviously. Rate of contamination, bacterial level, aeration, dew level, timer. The dew level is gonna be the difference between the aeration and the bacterial level. So let's say that this is actually 0.5 and this raises at 0.2. So on a timer, the dew level is going to get the difference between my bacterial level and my aeration. So 0.5, my bacterial level minus my aeration. Okay. And then, oh shit, hang on. And then my bacterial level is going to be plus equals the rate of contamination. It's going to go up. And then to clean, so public void clean this bacterial level equals 0.1 f. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Dew level is going to be the difference between the bacterial level and the aeration. Bacterial level goes up. Aeration is minus equals to the bacterial level. Okay. Okay, if no. If aeration is greater than 0f, then we do this. Because aeration is going to be getting inflow. Okay, this should be working. Score manager. I need to reference the basins and then just aggregate their dew level. So for I need to do it on a timer again. Copy this, paste this. Private timer. Private float timer. Okay. So on a timer, let's do a private average dew level. Private float averaged dew level. And it's gonna be for each basin be in basins int total dew. It's actually a float. Total dew equal to 0f. Total dew is equal to total dew plus equal basins dot dew level. Average dew level is equal to total dew divided by 3 basins. And then please debug dot log my average dew. And then timer is equal to 0f. I forgot to do that here. Timer is equal to 0f. And then valves, timer is equal to 0f. Aeration, timer is equal to 0f. Blower outputs. What was the one that outputted? That debug. Here it is. Total aeration. Don't need that. Okay, there we go. Score manager. Okay, cool. Let's see if this works. Asset. Cannot implicitly float to int. Sorry. Float. Basin does not contain dew levels. Basin. Dew level. Let's make this a... okay. Let's make a public float get level. Get dew level. Return dew level. Score manager. Basins dot get dew level. Level. Just like that. Okay, that should do it. Get dew level is not accessible. Score manager. Basins get dew level. Basins dot get dew level. What does it say? It says does not contain a definition get dew level. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. It's right there. Public float get dew level. Yeah. Dew levels there. I've defined a function get dew level. And then score manager basins dot get dew level. Basins. Oh, got it. Sorry. It's B. B deck do level. Okay, and then okay. Sorry. So we go to the score man. Oh, we go to the aeration manager. The score manager needs the basins. 1, 2, 3. So basin 1, 2, 3. Shoot. Score manager. Basin 1. Oh shit. Basin 1. Please. Basin 1. Well, damn. Please. Basin number 1. So it looks like I've only got one basin active right now. It's basin number 3. And then I currently only have one basin working. The basin feeds into the aeration manager. The manager outputs to the valve. So this valve is associated with this one. And then my aeration manager grabs onto this valve. Okay, that should work. Okay. It's because I have multiple basins. Okay. Okay. What is this? Aeration output valve opening. Got it. Okay, so remove this. Remove this. For now. Okay. Got it working. It seems like my aeration is a little bit too high. Okay. But regardless, I finished for the night. This is good enough for me. I will stop here. I hope you guys have a good night. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.